Young Black and Latino classical string players will compete in the 22nd annual Sphinx competition in early February. The Detroit-based Sphinx organization was founded to transform lives through the power of diversity in the arts. I'm pleased to have a Sphinx alumna here today for a special performance. Here is Anita Dumar. That was really great. And joining me now from the Sphinx organization is Lauren McNeary, Manager of Institutional Partnerships. Welcome to American Black Journal.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So let's start with just a basic rundown of what Sphinx is and what it does and what it's been doing for a really long time in this community.
Yes, so as you mentioned earlier, we're entering our 22nd year of having programming here in Detroit and across the nation. And our mission is to transform lives through the power of diversity in the arts, which is really broad, but if you break it down, our mission positions us at the intersection of social justice and the performing arts. When we first started, American orchestras, Black and Latinx musicians, only represented about 1.5% of the musicians in major orchestras across America. Today, we represent about 4% of musicians within major orchestras. So still a lot of work to do, but major headway.
Yeah, I mean, that difference is really remarkable. And I think anybody who knows much about professional musicianship and symphonies and that sort of thing will say that Sphinx has played a really critical role in moving those numbers. That's not coincidence.
Yes. We are really the only arts organization that works and has the breadth of work where we are pushing diversity and pushing inclusion. Most recently, we had a partnership form with the League of American Orchestras and the New World Symphony, where we work with orchestras across the country and musicians to help better prepare Black and Latinx musicians for the audition process with major orchestras. A lot of those musicians are alumni of the Sphinx competition as well, so it's really great.
Yeah, and we're joined now by Anita, who gave us that wonderful performance. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Tell us what you're doing now, and tell us how you got started with Sphinx.
So currently I am in my first year of graduate studies at the University of Michigan. I'm studying actually with a Sphinx alum, Professor Danielle Bellin. I did my undergrad at University of Michigan with her as well. And pretty much the very first thing that she did when I arrived in the fall of 2014 was to introduce me to Sphinx. And the very first year I worked with the Sphinx Connect program that runs concurrently with the competition. And every year from then on out, I had some kind of involvement. I was a semifinalist the last 2 years. and the year before that I was in the orchestra, so I honestly can't imagine my life without Sphinx at this point.
Yeah.
I also have a quartet of diverse musicians like myself, the Avalis Quartet. We love doing outreach, community engagement stuff with Sphinx and different in engagements like that. So.
Yeah. How did you get started on the violin?
So I started when I was 4 years old. I was really inspired by my mom. When I was 3, actually, I begged her to start, and she thought I was a little too young. So what I did was I took books and combs and plates and forks and just pretended to play
They
for
were
a year.
violins, right?
I had to prove for a year that I really wanted to play.
You were really interested.
Yeah,
Right?
and ever since then, it's been my life. So,
Yeah. At what point did you decide that this was what you wanted to do and be that this was going to shape your professional life?
I am struggling to remember a time where I wasn't thinking that
Where you
I was
didn't
going
think
to.
that,
Yeah.
really?
I might have had a few interests here and there, but pretty much I knew I was going straight for a some kind of musical, career, something with the violin. And I've really found my passion in this quartet with the chamber music, and I really think that as a group, we owe it to Sphinx because they helped us really realize the importance of representation. And it's not something that can be taken lightly in any field, but especially a field where you see so few people that look like us playing in the professional circles.
Yeah.
So.
Talk a little about how that feels, that sort of pressure from the lack of diversity that you probably encounter every day at school or performing.
Well, I know personally, every time I perform, I feel like I'm representing all musicians of color. Sometimes that's a pressure I put on myself. Just that initiatives like Sphinx, I feel like I need to prove that they are important and that they are really necessary. And I think I've had to tell myself that at the end of the day, you are making music, and to draw people to want to have a career in classical musician, whether it be like other young students of color or otherwise, it's really important to just focus on the music.
Yeah. Some of the barriers that still exist to more people like Anita being able to sort of get the opportunity to play. Talk about how Sphinx is sort of attacking that head on.
Yes, well, it really just starts with the Sphinx competition. The main goal of that competition is to identify musicians of color and provide them with a platform to showcase their artistry. Additionally, the competition helps us to build a network and a community of musicians and to provide them with mentorship opportunities and performance opportunities year-round, and that has led to scholarships. It has led to placement in summer programs, and most recently it has led to the evolution of our national convening Sphinx Connect, which brings in over 600 people from around the world who work in the arts on every level. And so it's really expanded our horizons and put our musicians on the map and let people know that, hey, we're here and we would love to be a part of your orchestra and help you be representative of the communities that you're in.
Yeah, we talked about the progress that you're making with symphony orchestras around the country. Is that also being reflected in the number of young people you see coming through your doors, I guess, at Sphinx?
Yes, so we have a great breadth of programming starting from introductory violin on to career grants. And I can say our introductory violin program, Overture, has a wait list consistently. It's always full, which is really sad in a way because we never want to turn anyone away, but it's great to see that there's interest out there. And so our partnerships with the DSO and, our partnerships with DTE Energy Foundation, who's actually presenting the competition, really help us to mind the gap and look at new ways that we can make sure we're reaching everyone.
Yeah. So Anita, what's next for you? what career do you think awaits you after your studies?
Well, currently, the hope is that I could continue in with this chamber group that I have. We find a lot of fulfillment in that. We have actually done a few performances for the Overture program and things like that. I think that will always continue to be a part of our careers, whatever capacity that might take. But I think we have all found each other, and I don't think we ever thought that we'd be playing with 3 other musicians of color in a
Very
professional.
unusual, right?
Yeah, but it really is a very special thing that I'm grateful for. So.
Yeah. Well, and given the changes in the industry, the shrinking of symphonies, things like that, having the opportunity to have your own thing is pretty important as well.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, congratulations, and thanks for being here on American Black Journal.
Thanks
for having us.
You can see live stream coverage of the Sphinx Conference and Finals Concert at dptv.org.